This
كتل
conference will now be recorded.
نور ربها وأشرقت الأرض بنور 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 ربها शुक्रन लिल्लाह वल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, शुक्रन लिल्लाह वल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। या अली मदद अजीज सर।
या अली मदद।
या अली मदद अजीज भाई।
या अली मदद, या अली मदद।
जस्ट वेटिंग के जल्दी से शुरू हो जाए।
शुक्र अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।
मौला की मेहरबानी।
शुक्र मौला, शुक्र मौला। अच्छा, कामरे साहब, should we start? Do we have someone for tasbih, or should I start with some Giryazari?
Sir, you can start with some Giryazari.
Oh, Nawazish. Once again, Yali Mazhar to everyone. Thank you for joining us for this special session. Please hold all your questions until the end. And if it's possible, send the message to Kamra Sahib on the chat. There will be some questions that would be answered, and there would be some question I may refrain from answering it. But inshallah, we will try to cover, do ask question, and then whichever we can, we will, and whichever we can't, we will not. So both Nawazish, thank you again for joining. मौला के मुबारक नाम से हम आगाज करते हैं। नूर मौलाना शाह करीम अल हुसैनी हाजिर इमाम, हाजिर इमाम। या मौलाए मेहरबान मदद फरमा, या मौलाए मेहरबान मदद फरमा। अलीउल कय्यूम, अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा। अलीउल कय्यूम, अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा। या मौलाए मेहरबान, तू हमारी गुर्बत को जानता है मौला, हमारी ज़रूरतों को हमसे पहले जानता है मौला। या मौला, इससे पहले कि हमारे दिल के अंदर कोई ज़रूरत, कोई सवाल, कोई ख्वाहिश ज़ाहिर हो मौला, तू उसको उससे पहले जानता है मौला। या मौला, जो अच्छी ख्वाहिशात हो, जो अच्छी ज़रूरत हो, जो अच्छी ज़रूरत हो मौला, और जो तुझे पसंद आए मौला, उसको तो हमारे हक में कबूल फरमाना मौला। या मौलाए मेहरबान, अगर ऐसी कोई बात जो हमें नहीं करनी है और अगर हमारे ज़बान से आ जाए, निकल जाए, तो मौला तो हमें माफ़ फरमाना। या मौलाए मेहरबान, हर हमेशा अपना मर्सीफुल, मोस्ट मर्सीफुल हाथ हम गरीबों के कंधों पे रखना मौला, ताकि हम कोई इल्मी काम कर सके। या मौला, आज का सब्जेक्ट कुछ मुश्किल है और हो सकता है कि कहीं कहीं हमें बार बार तेरी मदद, तेरी तरफ रजू करना पड़े मौला। मौला, हमारे करीब खड़े रहना, हमारी ज़बान पर अपने नूर को चलाना मौला, ताकि हम कोई अच्छा काम कर सके, कोई इल्मी बात कर सके, कोई इल्म को समझ सके, कोई इल्म सीख सके मौला। या मौलाए मेहरबान, हमारे लिए एक नूर हमारे कानों के लिए रखना, ताकि जो भी अच्छा इल्म वो और जो भी साथी उसको सुने, उसके कानों के अंदर एक नूर बस जाए। या मौला, हमारी ज़बान पर एक नूर रखना, ताकि जो भी इल्म जो भी तेरा इल्म, जो भी तेरा नूरानी इल्म हो वो हमारे ज़बानों से बयान हो जाए। या मौला एक नूर को हमारे दिल में रखना, ताकि हमारे दिलों के अंदर ये नूरानी इल्म एक नूर बनकर, एक रोशनी बनकर समा जाए। इसी तरह मौला एक नूर हमारी आंखों के अंदर रखना, ताकि जो भी इसको देखे, जो भी इसको देखे मौला, उसके लिए ये नूर एक दीदार की सूरत में उनके दिल व दिमाग के अंदर उतर जाए मौला। ये हमारी आजिज़ाना दरख्वास्त है। या मौला मदद फरमा, अलैयुल कय्यूम, अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। Thank you again for joining this special session. हालांकि इस सेशन का नाम एक हिजाब रखते हुए, सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर एक पर्दा रखते हुए, to keep the veil on the actual subject, we have named it color of नूर। ये सिर्फ एक हिजाब है, एक पर्दा है। क्यों? Why? क्योंकि ये सब्जेक्ट वो सब्जेक्ट नहीं कि जो हम आसानी से तमाम लोगों के लिए बयान कर सके। ये नूर और दीदार का सब्जेक्ट है कि किस तरह से इबादत के जरिए या कई मकामत पर इमाम हमको एक नूर इनायत कर सकता है। और ये वो सब्जेक्ट नहीं कि जो आपने पहले कहीं पर कभी सुना हो। जब हमारे दाइयों और पीरों ने नूर के उन्वान को उठाया, whenever our dais, our peers, our hujjatan have spoke about the nur, they have kept that in a very well hidden well. उनको हमेशा पर्दों के पीछे रखा, हमेशा पर्दों के पीछे रखा, ताकि whenever someone who is deserving, someone who take extra effort, then they may find this special subject, understanding the meaning and the tawil of it. Now you can appreciate and understand how hard this subject is. So let's take it systematically. We will try to make it as easy as ABC. We will make it as easy as ABC for everyone to understand. And if you don't understand something, make a note of it. Send it to Kamre Sahib or ask at the end. Try to ask your question very concisely, to the point, so we only will cover the point that you like to learn about. So let's take step first, step by step. यहां से हम इसको शुरू करते हैं कि आप इबादत के जरिए से मेरे नूर के करीब से करीब आओ। Come closer and closer to my nur. What do we understand from this one line of Imam's Farman? It is not only a Farman, but it is an invitation. It is an invitation, ek dawat, a call for us to come closer to the Nur of Imam. Second, it tells us that there are many steps because Imam says, come closer and closer and closer to my Nur. Meaning there are many steps to get to the final level of Imam's Nur and becoming one with Imam's Nur. Many stages. But the dawat is, the call is, invitation is to come closer. Don't stay away from my Nur. That is the calling. That is a calling. In the time of Imam Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah Salvatullah Alayhi, may our soul be sacrificed to him, when he was giving didar within the family, within the close circles, some of our elderly will tell you that Imam will say, come, come, my children, come closer to me. Come sit by my feet. Don't be far away. Especially in Baitul Khiyal, bowl ceremony, Imam will say, come closer to me. Come. Many understood what Imam was saying. Many did not understand. Imam was calling you on two steps. Physically, you are my children, my spiritual children, come closer to me. And the dawat was, come closer to my Nur, come closer to my Nur, because that was the Baitul Khiyal Isme Azam ceremony. Imam was giving you a calling, a dawat, invitation. Let me give you the Isme Azam so you can come closer to my Nur. The learning will be step by step. Now, self-reflection. If I would ask everyone to unmute, then there would be too much commotion. So keep your phone on mute, but answer yourself. How many think that if we do ibadat, there would be one day, boom, a light will go on. Click, switch will turn on, and we will see the Nur. If this line was unmuted, I would say 80-90% will tell me that's how they see, perceive. The Nur will be seen one day. All of a sudden, a light will go on, and we will say the Nur. That would be the end of it, and we are done. We are complete. We are finished with our Isme Azam. Journey is over. But that is not true. That is not true. Will we ever have a light that will turn on? Yes. But that is not true that that is the end and successful ibadat. That is just what we call a tailor, or what we call a symbol. A symbol will be given to you that, look, let me show you a light, and I will tell you what the light is in a few minutes. That is actually not the Nur, but a symbol of Imam's light. All right. So let's start our journey on this subject. When and if a Mu'min Salik, the one who have decided to walk on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, and one who say, I would like to walk on a spiritual journey and the path toward the Nur. He or she is called Momine Salik. Salik, चलने वाला. मोमिन जो आगे 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 बढ़ता है. Which farman that reminds you of? Those with the ilm increase their rank step by step. And those who have no ilm will say, I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting here. Where am I going? I'm not going anywhere. You see, two kind of mu'min. Mu'min is salik and one who is not even walking. Are they doing ibadat? Definitely they are doing ibadat. But then they are just doing ibadat, sitting in one place. They are not moving forward. They are not walking. Why? Why would we have Isme Azam? Why would we do ibadat, but then we don't move forward? We don't move forward. It's because we don't know how to move forward. And to learn and to know how to move forward, one needs what? Ilm. एक जो इसमें आजम लेता है इबादत भी करता है और फिर कहता है कि मैं कहाँ जा रहा हूं. I am not successful in my ibadat because he does not know how to move forward. इल्म नहीं है, इल्म की कमी है. अब हमको क्या पता चला कि इसमें आजम यानी कि इबादत और इल्म कश्ती के वो दो चप्पू है जो एक साथ चलते हैं. इल्म इबादत तब जाके कश्ती आगे बढ़ती है, वरना कश्ती गोल गोल घूमती है, वो कहीं नहीं जाता है, वो गोल 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 घूमता रहता है. 5 year, 10 year, 20 year, no success. So that was point number 1. Point number 2. What will we see in here? Now this is, यहाँ पर थोड़ी बात जो है वो मुश्किल है. અહીંયા હવે થોડી અગ્રિતા વાતો થઈ રહી છે. Hard concept to understand. But what you will find, you or some of you may have experienced some of these things already, and you may not even know that you were successful up to a point. Why would you not know if you were successful to a point? Because you did not know. No ilm. There was no ilm, no understanding. So in the ibadat, there are many steps. And if you remember, why did we decide to have this session? When Saturday, last week, someone asked, is there a different understanding of the Nur? Can we smell the Nur? Can we hear the Nur? Can we taste the Nur? Can Nur touch us? Can we see the Nur with our eyes? But one thing we all knew, that when we have a didar, when we have a Nur, we will see with the eyes. But there was only one out of 16. How many? 16 kind of didar, 16 kind of feeling, 16 kind of happiness, 16 kind of enlightenment. But we only knew one, and that was through eyes. Through eyes. So let's talk about the eyes first, because that's the one we all know. And we will talk about the ear, nose, and taste, and touch. All those didar, inshallah. Let's talk about the eyes, because that is the easiest part to understand. At the very, very beginning, when we receive the Isme Azam and the condition is met, the requirements are met. What are the condition and what are the requirements? Condition is that we will be disciplined and we will prepare ourselves every day during the day before we sleep for the 4 o'clock ibadat. That is the condition. Requirement: be righteous, do good deeds, sleep early, eat less, do not eat after 6:30 in the evening, meaning don't eat after evening dua. So if your dua is 7 o'clock, the last time you can have a meal, remember I'm only talking about Momine Salikin, those who wanted to improve their spiritual journey, who wanted to elevate their soul, who truly want to have the Nurani Didar. I'm only talking about them. Now again, self-reflection. No need to unmute your phone. Ask yourself, make a note. Am I Momina Salik? Am I following the condition and am I following the requirement? And one of the requirement is eat before evening dua. Never ever eat after evening dua. You see, that is the requirement. Requirement to do what? To be successful in your ibadat. Petra barso to nindra avse. Do not eat after evening, meaning 1 hour before your evening dua, whatever your evening dua time is. 1 hour before that. That's it. That's the last meal. Now, those friends with the medical condition, if you need to take medicine and the medicine require you to drink milk or eat some food or eat some fruit, then you are exempt from this condition and this requirement because you cannot sleep early because you have to wait for your medicine. You have to eat for your medicine. So you see, exemptions are there. But I'm talking about a healthy Momin who would like to progress in his or her journey. Remember, Imam in his Baitul Kal Farman have given us exemptions. Someone who's pregnant, someone who's sick, someone who's taking medicine, someone who is in traveling. You see how many exemptions we have? So there are exemptions. But we are talking about generically toward a healthy and those mu'minin who wish to elevate their soul. We are talking about them only. Okay. So once you meet the condition and you meet the requirements, then when you wake up earlier than 4 o'clock, if someone say, I wake up 4 for my ibadat, I have a news for you. You are already late for Nurani time. If you wake up 4, you are already late for Nurani time. Because Ashik, a Momin, a lover of the Imam, does what? He cannot even sleep. Just thinking that tonight may be the night when Imam will be waiting for me and he will give me a didar. How can a Momin sleep? Imagine when Imam is coming for didar. We just had didar 2-3 years ago. We could not sleep all night because we had to go to the didar hall 4 o'clock in the morning. We left home 2:30, 3 o'clock. Some people left home midnight because they have to travel 3, 4, 5 hours. Do you see? With that zeal, वो शौक से वो इश्क व मोहब्बत से जब हम इमाम के दीदार का इंतजार करते हैं तब इमाम का दीदार आता है. Every night can be, and tonight can be that night. I wanted to give you an example, and I wanted to give you a short event that took place few years back when I was giving a lecture live in Karachi in a session, and I was giving an example that how easy. I know you will say there is something wrong with this guy. आप कहेंगे कि ये आदमी क्या बोल रहा है? This is what I'm telling you. Nurani Didar, receiving the Nur, having the Nur is easy as filling up a glass of water. What did I say? As filling up glass of water. That's how easy it is to have the Didar of the Nur. I want to give example if you can visualize it. Take two glasses, one with the water, one empty glass. Take that water and pour into that empty glass. Okay? Empty it out nicely and gently. Put that full water full of glass down. Now tell me, what do you have in that empty glass? Of course, obviously answer would be nothing. Then I would ask you again, look closely. See what you see in this empty glass. You will say, I don't see anything because there's nothing in the glass. I can turn the glass down, upside down. Nothing comes out of it. It's nothing in the glass. But then a wise person will tell you that there is the air. एक खाली ग्लास के अंदर हवा भर गई थी. जैसा जैसा पानी खाली किया, इस ग्लास के अंदर हवा भरती चली गई. Now tell me, who put the air in this empty glass? Did you put the air in this empty glass? Or did it automatically was filled with the air without any effort? Zero effort. Zero effort. What did you do to empty that glass? You pour the water into the other cup. If you take out the greed and the wants, remember the condition? This is the condition. If you take out the greed and the wants of the world, then your heart will be empty as this empty glass. And when it's empty, guess what's going to happen? It will be filled with the love, with the nur, and with the didar. How can Imam come and sit in your heart when your heart is dirty, filled with the greed and wants of the world? You have left no room for Imam to come and sit in your heart and give you the didar. You see how easy it was? This question was asked by a very young girl. Remember, there were over a couple of hundred people present in that session. उस सेशन के अंदर, उस क्लास के अंदर 100-200 लोग मौजूद थे. एक बच्ची ने मेरी बात को समझा. Young girl understood. Only one single girl. There were adults, there were elders, and there were youngs. Only one young girl understood what I was telling them. That is it really as easy as that? Yes, it is. So now, when you meet the condition and when you meet the requirements, and requirement was righteousness, good deeds. When you meet both of this, then let's talk about what will happen initially. What will initially will happen? Your carnal soul, आपका जो नफ्से अमारा है, नफ्से अमारा जिसको हम आई कहते हैं, जिसको हम वांट कहते हैं, जिसको हम मी कहते हैं, इसको इंग्लिश में कार्नल सोल कहते हैं. माई वांट, आई एंड मी, मैं. जब हम उस मैं को छोड़ते हैं ना, जब हम अपनी दुनिया की वांट्स एंड ग्रीड को छोड़ते हैं, तो हमारे अंदर एक जंग शुरू होती है. There is a fight. Your carnal soul, your want is saying, no. I want this, I want this. And your strength, your courage to move forward, that firm belief and walking on the Sirat al-Mustaqim. You know what we call that? Your iman. यहाँ के टकराते हैं. Your wants want something, your iman wants something else. And there's a huge fight. जब ये कार्नल सोल आपके इसमें आजम और आपकी अच्छाइयों से और आपके ईमान से टकराता है, तो वहां पर एक स्पार्क पैदा होता है. When this gets rubbed against each other due to intense and heavy fight, there would be a spark. There would be a spark. Remember, that's not a nur. That is just a spark. And you will see a light. If you don't have a ilm, you will say what? Shukr Mola, I had seen your nur. Perhaps because I cannot tell anyone, Mola Baba said, don't discuss, don't share. Because I cannot tell anyone, I cannot ask anyone, and I have no ilm. I don't have a teacher who can teach me. So what do I do now? I'm lost. Because I think I have seen the nur, I have finished my Isme Azam, I'm successful. Contrary to that, it was just your iman and your carnal soul fighting. And due to that, there was a spark. That is the beginning. Definitely there's a beginning. But that is just a beginning, a spark. It's not a fire, but a spark. Soon after this, I'm telling you step by step. Either you write it down or make a good mental note of this. Soon after that, either in your dream or either in the early time of your sleep or in your early ibadat. In your early ibadat. Or if you come back from the Jamaat Khana in the morning and sleep for a few minutes in that time. In this particular time I'm talking about. Not all the time, but this particular time. You will see yourself as a child and you will see the light comes on in the room, and because you are a child you will not be able to open your eyes, so you're going to close your eyes very tight. Have you ever seen a 2-3 months old baby? If she or he is sleeping and if you turn on the light in the room, she suddenly goes like this. She closes our eyes so tight because she is not able to see or is able to accept that bright light. उसको बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकती है, तो बच्चा क्या करता है, अपनी आंखों को जप लेता है, टाइटली बंद कर लेता है. You will have that experience. You will have that experience. Why this experience? So you know your soul is like a child. Your Isme Azam is born as a child. I wanted to remind you of Farman. I don't want to tell you anything from myself. Of Farman. Mola says, ये इसमें आजम को आप पाल पोस कर बड़ा करना. Take this इसमें आजम, nurture that इसमें आजम as a child and help it nurture, help it grow. Because Isme Azam needs to be born where? Inside you. When does it get born? With that first light. But you will not be able to see the light because the light is too bright, and our Isme Azam and our inner eye is an example of a child. So you will close your eyes quickly. You would want to see it, but you will not be able to see it. You will feel it. That's the happiness. Remember, Imam talks about happiness? Then you will have such a happiness that you have never experienced that. Unlike any other experience you have ever experienced, you will have that happiness. I'm talking about that happiness. That happiness. Because you know in your heart that you were given the light. True, you close your eyes because light was too bright, but that happiness that comes with it will stay with you for rest of your life. Again, do not share. Do not share. That is for you. You only, you keep. You keep that experience. You keep that happiness. Is that the end of it? No, it's not the end of it. It's just a beginning. Remember, you still haven't not seen the Noor yet. It's just a beginning. And what will happen next? Because of this happiness, because of this experience, your commitment, your intention toward the ibadat will increase. Now you will be more into the ibadat than ever before. But I'd like to warn you, as Imam has warned you in his farman, be patient. Don't sit with the greed. आप सबर करेंगे, शुक्र करेंगे और दिल में लालच नहीं रखेंगे. That is the no, no, no. You see, another condition is put on you. Don't be greedy, be patient. Because you don't know if would the next dizar will happen in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year, in a 2 year, or in 10 years. You don't know that. But Momin Salik believes, have a firm belief in Imam's mercy. And he does not give up. He keeps the hope without greed. No greed, just hope. वो उम्मीद के साथ बैठता है, लालच के साथ नहीं. And then he gets to the next level of रूहानियत. इस रूहानियत को कुरान के अंदर और हमारे दाइयों और पीरों की जबान में पहला आसमान कहा गया. In the Quran and in the language of the peers and dais, they have called this stage the first heaven or near land. पहला आसमान या करीब की जमीन. ये दो अल्फाजों को आप ढूंढे कुरान के अंदर, नियर लैंड और फर्स्ट हेवन. इसको ये कहा गया. अब इस मकाम पर क्या होगा और यहां तक कौन कौन पहुंच सकता है और इसके बाद कितने और आसमान, कितने और हेवंस, कितने और दर्जात हैं, ये हमको कौन बताएगा. सबसे पहले इस मकाम तक हर वो शख्स जो राइचस है और जो ये कंडीशन को मीट कर लेता है, चाहे वो इस्माइली हो, चाहे वो मुसलमान हो, चाहे वो अहले किताब में से हो, चाहे वो हिंदू हो, anyone who meets knowingly or unknowingly the conditions and meet the requirements, fulfill the requirements and meet the conditions, they reach to this first level. They will reach to this first level, the first heaven or the near land. वहां पर क्या होगा, यहां पर नूर जो है वो बहुत ही शादमान, कलरफुल होता है. At this place the noor will be very very bright and colorful. Just imagine any heaven, how beautiful heaven would be. That's how beautiful this noor would be. This noor would be that beautiful, colorful, beautiful, like heaven. Just perfect, beautiful color. And anyone who meets all the condition and fulfill all the requirements, knowingly or unknowingly, will reach to the level. Is that a good or is that bad? Is that a good or bad? Let me show you how it is good and how it is not so good. Ilm is required to get to the highest level of the Noor possible. Which ilm? Ilm of the Imam. No other ilm can explain this phenomena. Ilm of the Imam. Because this place is on the first heaven in the near land, then that is a good tidings to all humans. Because if you knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly have met the condition and have fulfilled the requirement, then you will receive this reward. So in this one place, this is a reward. But at the same time, this can be harmful. Yeah, listen to it very carefully because I may not be able to repeat everything. This can be harmful. So let me tell you why it would be good and why it cannot be good. It's good because you are better than millions and billions of people, you have received the Noor at the first heaven. Good, right? Colorful. But for a Mu'min Salik, a true follower of the Imam, will say what? Again, I'm quoting the Farman. When he will reach to the first level, he will say to himself, that is not good enough. I want to meet the ultimate. वो क्या कहेगा कि ये मेरे लिए काफी नहीं है, मैं तो अपने असल में जानना चाहता हूं. But the problem with this stage is that it is so beautiful, it is so charming that you don't want to leave. You don't want to leave. And what happens at the end? You get stuck at the first level and never ever get to the destination, the asal. You never go to the second level. Only if you knew what is second level, then you will never ever sit at the first level. Example. A poor person who has no food, nothing to eat, when he receives that one bread, one meal, he eats that meal and he's happy with that and he goes to sleep. He cannot think of the next day. He just cannot. But what a wise person do? What is Imam's Farman for us? Think of tomorrow, think of next year, 10 years, 100 years from now. We see the difference between wise and not so wise. One who understand and one who don't understand. Because this place is so beautiful, people get stuck there. And Allah says in one of his ayat that not only that, actually Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Al-Muluk, that I have made this first heaven as a test and as a punishment. How can the heaven and this Noor, this Chirag, this light be punishment? So two questions again comes to mind. I hope you are listening to me very carefully. Two questions comes to mind. One, how can the first heaven be punishment? And second question be punishment for whom? The punishment is for those who has no ilm of the Imam. किसके लिए ये जगह इम्तिहान और सजा का है? उनके लिए कि जो इस मकाम पर इमाम के नूर, इमाम की हिदायत, इमाम के इल्म के बगैर पहुंच गए. They reached to this place, but they had no ilm. You see why Imam has emphasized so much on ilm? Ilm-e-ilahi, ilm of the Imam, ilm-e-laduni. Those are the ilm which is required. How and where do you find this ilm? Well, you have again two paths. Either you follow Dais and Peers, their writings, and find the fine line in between the lines and underline words, identify those underlined words which will give you the tawil and the batini ilm of the imam. Or you find those teachers who has worked hard and have found the ilm, and then through the ibadat have received the ilm laduni from the imam directly. What do we call them? We call them arifin. Arifin. Now, ilm is received on 3 levels. 1, by reading. 2nd, by listening. 3rd, by finding inside yourself. Of course, first one has to come first, second one second, and then third one third. So initially, you either find those books which are written on the batin of our tariqah. And this can be other than Farman and Ginan. Because Farman and Ginan are the guidance to find those ilm and understand those ilm. So may Imam teach you from within yourself. So he may teach you within yourself. Because if Imam teaches you within yourself, and if you have never experienced any other ilm, or if you have no practice of any other ilm, it would be hard to understand what Imam is saying. Look at Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When the Jibril came to him, he said, I don't know what you're trying to tell me. I don't understand this ilm. You see, you must understand from step by step, learn. So the day the Imam gives you the ilm from you inside, you will know what it is. Let's come back to our ayat. That Allah said, we have decorated the nearest heaven with lamps, chiraga, misbah. हमने करीब के आसमान पर चिरागा किया हुआ है, रोशनी की हुई है. For what? And have made them devices to cast away devils, and we have prepared for them the punishment. आपने देखा कि ये पहले आसमान पर जो चिरागा है वो दो लोगों के लिए है, दो तरीके से है. एक जो मोमिन होगा वो वहां पर जाएगा, ठहरेगा नहीं उधर, वो वहां से और बुलंद जाएगा, क्योंकि उसको पता है that मोमिन सालिक with the ilm will not stop there, because he and she knows through the ilm hakiki that this is not the place to stay. And what she or he will do, they will elevate themselves as per Imam's farman. And for others, that place, and that can include Ismailis too, who has no ilm. This place is the punishment. This place was prepared for the very reason of punishment. And they will be cast away from this place. So this lamps, this nur, this chiraga will be the device, a tool. ये एक जरिया होगा उनको वहां से पीछे भगा देने का, एक जरिया होगा. क्योंकि एक जगह पर जहां पर नूर आंखों की ठंडक है, उसी जगह पर एक नूर उन लोगों के लिए जो डिजर्विंग नहीं है, जो डिजर्विंग नहीं है। एक जलने वाली आग है, एक के लिए ठंडक, आंखों की ठंडक, नूर, और एक के लिए वही नूर आग, पनिशमेंट के तौर पर। देखिए इमाम की मिसाल लेते हैं हम। मोमिन शख्स को इमाम बहुत भाता है। जब वो इमाम को देखता है, इमाम की बात सुनता है, उसके दिल में ठंडक होती है, इसके आंखों में ठंडक होती है। उसी जगह पर एक आदमी जो इमाम को नहीं मानता है, इस्माइली भी है लेकिन इमाम को मानता नहीं है, तो इमाम की बात सुनकर उसके दिल में जलन होती है, उसके दिल में जलन होती है और वो उसको बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकता है। इमाम की बात उसको अंदर से जला देती है। वही इमाम है, आपके लिए आंखों की ठंडक है, उसके लिए एक दिल के अंदर हसद और जलसी की आग जलती है जब कोई इमाम का नाम लेता है। यू सी द डिफरेंट, सेम नूर, टू डिफरेंट फंक्शन। लेट्स टेक फिजिकल फायर। Physical fire in the winter gives you the heat, but the same fire can burn you also. Same heat, right? One in the winter is for your warmth. At the same time, same heat can burn you. अच्छा, I am. हम पहले आसमान पर थे कि पहले आसमान पर बहुत कलरफुल और बहुत ही शानदार नूर है, और इसी वजह से, and therefore those who does not understand, does not have the hakiki ilm, will not know what to do with it. So what he or she will do, she will be happy with that, and he and she will say, what, I have reached my destiny, I'm done with my Isme Azam, I am successful. In other words, he or she will say, I'm not going anywhere, I'm sitting here, where am I going? But what does Imam says? A Hakiki moment will say, I will go even further. I want to be one with thee. मैं असल में जाना चाहता हूँ. And he and she will not stop there. So what happens on the second level? And this is not for repetition. What will happen on this second level? On the heaven too. The Noor at that level will not have any color. The Noor will no longer be colorful. Do you hear me? Noor will not be colorful. Second, Noor will be goinda, speaking. क्या दो चीजें नाचीज ने अभी बताई और आपने सुनी, इसको याद कर लें। दूसरे आसमान पर, दूसरे दर्जे में, दूसरा आसमान दूसरा दर्जा, और ऐसे 7 दर्जात हैं, ऐसे 7 दर्जात हैं। दूसरे दर्जे पर नूर का कलर नहीं होगा, वो फीका कलर होगा, कलरलेस होगा, और लेकिन वो गोइंदा होगा, स्पीकिंग होगा, स्पीकिंग होगा। Now let's take the same example we took earlier. And what was that? That when Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was visited by Jibril, was Jibril speaking or silent? Definitely was speaking, right? So what do we understand? that Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on the very first day, remember, the nature, the habit, the Sunnatullahi never changes. Everything is on step by step. And I will prove it to you that this was Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's second step. That means he must have gone through the initial stages of the spiritual progress. And how do we know he was on second stage? Because look at his ishq. मैंने पहले कहा क्या कहा था आपको, जब आपको वो नूर का एक्सपीरियंस होगा, वो हैप्पीनेस होगा, तो आप सो नहीं सकेंगे, आप और ज्यादा कोशिश करेंगे, आप जल्दी में जल्दी ज्यादा में ज्यादा इबादत करने की कोशिश करेंगे. As Prophet Muhammad, he would go to Gare Hira, he will sit alone there for days upon days. He did not give up. And this was the second stage where the Noor, where the Isme Azam was speaking Noor. How do we know this was second, not the seventh, not the ultimate? Because the Miraj was the ultimate. How many years did it take him to go from the second to the seventh? How many years did it take him from the 0 to second? You know, if you are a lover of the history, it took him almost 15 years. And I'm just trying to tell you that if we receive this Isme Azam early on, let's say at the age of 25, and he was 40-year-old at that time, and this is just for our learning. Don't hold me to this. Don't hold me to this. I'm just using this as an example that he had taken long time from the time he started the ibadat to reach to the second level, and then another 12 13 year from the time of the Jibril appearing to the time of Miraj. Do you see long journey? Long journey, step by step. Allah has made 7 heavens, one on the top of each other. And that is the merciful Rahman, that he have created those levels for whom? For you and me, for the Mu'mineen. तो यहाँ पर हमने 3-4 अलग अलग बातों को देखा. पहला स्पार्क, पहली रोशनी, फिर कलरफुल रोशनी, पहला आसमान, और फिर उससे आगे दूसरा आसमान, और ऊपर वहां पर जो आपकी जर्नी होगी, anything from second and above, that journey will be taken with the spiritual and speaking Isme Azam. You can call him your angel, you can call him Imam, you can call him Noor, you can call him anything you wish, whatever makes it easier for you. But this angel, this speaking Isme Azam, this Noor of Imam will guide you from second step, second rank, second heaven and above. So now we learn one other thing. The beginning journey definitely begins with moments, effort, time, and knowledge, meaning you give your time to ibadat, with that you have ilm, that is your effort. Those are the initial effort. Surah Muhammad, ayat number 6 and 7 says, those who are firm on this path in the belief, Allah will make your feet firm on it. Then Allah says in ayat number 7, if you help me, I will help you. You help me, I will help you. You put your effort, you meet the condition, and you follow the requirement. Inshallah, Imam is there waiting for you to help you. So let me stop here. So we have a few minutes for question. Please ask your question very carefully. Do not disclose any personal experiences. But if you do want to ask question as in a short, less words, inshallah, I will catch those questions and I will try to answer your question. Ji.
Subhanallah, sir. Friends, if you have a question, please share in the chat room. Okay. Sir, see one question. Not sure it's a question. Friends asking, what qualifies a person to translate the Quran, knowing Quranic Arabic is not understood by anyone except Hazima?
Okay, what qualifies a person? Only Imam can give this qualification to a person, to a Mu'min Salik, in example, Arife Kamil. Why and how and when? Why, how and when? Why? Because he came closer to the Nur of Imam. When? When he is in the Farman of the Imam. How? Because Imam gives him the Amr and the Nur with which he can see, read, and do the Tawil of the Quran. Ji.
Sir, friends asking, can you please go over the steps of first and second heaven again?
First heaven, which is also called near land, पहला आसमान या करीब की जमीन. जब दो रूहानी, बहुत सारे रूहानी एक्सपीरियंसेस, but this two in particular, एक स्पार्क और एक लाइट का जब माजिजे से कोई मोमिन गुजरता है, when he crosses those initial steps, he or she reaches to this first heaven, first near land, first rank, and there they will find this heaven which is very, very colorful, bright lights, colorful, happy lights. That is first rank. Because it is so colorful and so appealing to the eyes and heart, one think that this is the heaven, this is the ultimate goal, and therefore gets stuck in that heaven and not able to move forward. And that is only due to lack of knowledge. Because उन्होंने फरमान को नहीं पढ़ा ना, और ना तो फरमान को समझा. फरमान में क्या लिखा हुआ था कि जब आपको पहला रैंक मिलता है तो वो बंदा कहता है मुझे यहाँ नहीं रुकना है, मुझे तो असल चाहिए. So those who read and understand the Farman, those who read and understand the Gnan. Those who read and understand the books of the Dais and Hujjatan, and those who can read and understand Quran will tell you that this is not the place to sit, but this is a test and I will move forward. I will go even higher than that. Second step, where this Noor is no more colorful. Matter of fact, it's colorless, जिसको हम उर्दू में फीका हो जाना कहते हैं. But this Noor is goinda, speaking Noor. ये नूर नातिक है, ये नूर नातिक है. और कुरान में आपको बहुत सारे इसका जिक्र मिलेगा कि उस दिन जब मोमिन उसको पूछते हैं कि भाई तू कौन है, तो वो कहता है मैं तुम्हारा फरिश्ता हूँ, मैं दुनिया में भी तुम्हारे साथ था, मैं आज भी तुम्हारे साथ हूँ और मैं तुम्हारा मददगार हूँ, तुम मेरे साथ चलो. और वो उसको आगे से आगे लेके जाते हैं. उसको नूर नातिक भी कहते हैं, उसको एंजल भी कहते हैं, उसको खाली नूर भी कहते हैं, हम उसको इमाम भी कहते हैं. Whatever suits you, whatever helps you understand this. जी.
Sir, we have another question. How can you reach to first level?
Through meeting the condition and fulfilling the requirement. जी.
Another question. Can you please elaborate on ilm laduni, what it means?
जी. Ilm laduni is a particular term which is used by the peers and dais and arifin when they receive the inspiration, the tawfiq जिसको हम कहते हैं उर्दू के अंदर, इंग्लिश में inspiration, when they receive that knowledge, ilm batin, when Imam comes to you and teach you from inside your heart, and you will be able to learn and understand the higher level of ilm. This ilm is not used for worldly matters. It is the higher level of ilm. That is called ilm laduni. Allah ka ilm, Imam ka ilm, batin ka ilm, andar ka ilm. जी.
So another question. What are the signs for the 5 higher heavens beyond the second heaven?
जी. When a Momin as Salik receive their first marifat of the heaven and the who is able to walk and understand the Nur and the Isma Azam which is guiding him or her. From that point onward, his journey is no longer on walking path. If you give me a permission, I would like to disclose something which is I am almost afraid to disclose. Once you receive that second heaven, because you asked me what is the sign of that, when you will sit in the bandagi, you know how initially you have to repeat your Ismi Azam, for example, Yali, 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 so fast, and in the hundreds and thousands, Yali, 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 Yali. When you are on the second level, you will have a key, chabi, of your Ismi Azam. When you will say, let's say your Ismi Azam is Ya Ali. As soon you will sit in Ibadat and you will say Ya Ali, the key will turn, the door will open, and the Noor will fly you. You will no longer would have to say a second word. At that level, there is a complete silence, but one voice, one understanding, and that is the voice of the Isme Azam and the understanding where you are going. And that level is crossed on the wings of the Isme Azam, यानी कि इसमें आजम आपको उड़ाएगा, वो फरिश्ता आपको उड़ाएगा, और those level are crossed on the angel on the इसमें आजम. अब मैं आपको एक बात बताऊंगा तो आपको हैरत होगी कि यह बात तो मेरे को पहले ही पता थी. The question you just asked, you already knew the answer. हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम मेराज पर गए थे तो वो किस तरह से गए थे? वो चल कर गए थे? आपको पता है ना, वो उड़ के गए थे. और उसके इसमें आजम का नाम क्या दिया उन्होंने? कहा मैं दुलदुल पर बैठ के गया था. ये दुलदुल क्या था? ये उसका इसमें आजम था, ये उसका नूर था, वो उसका फरिश्ता था, वो उसके विंग्स थी जिस पर वो बैठकर मेराज पर गया था. See, you already knew the answer to that. जी.
So another question. The first level, why is the spark generated by the Isme Azam fighting with Nafse Amara? I am not following it. Wouldn't it be that we have transitioned to Nafse Lawama and hence we then can see the
No.
spark?
No. Nafs Lawama is not received until that guidance comes. When Nafs Lawama comes, when your Isme Azam is speaking to you, right? नफ्स लवामा तो ऊपर की बात है मेरे भाई. थोड़ा नीचे आए, थोड़ा सा नीचे. नफ्स अमारा और हमारा ईमान, हमारे इसमें आजम, जब हम उसको पढ़ते हैं और जो स्पीड से वो चलता है, डोंट टेक माय वर्ड, यू कैन लुक अप इन कुरान, सूरह आदियात के अंदर, सूरह नंबर 100 है. सूरह आदियात के अंदर आपको इसका जिक्र मिलेगा कि जब वो घोड़े भागते हैं, जब वो इसमें आजम तेजी से भागता है और पत्थर पर जब उसके पांव टपकते हैं तो उसमें से चिंगारियां निकलती है. ये पत्थर क्या है? वो आपका नफ्स अमारा है. ये घोड़ा क्या है? आपका इसमें आजम है. जब वो घोड़ा भागता है तो ये दोनों की एक जंग होती है. आप सूरह आदियात को पढ़ें, आपको उसका जिक्र मिल जाएगा. वहां पर वो स्पार्क पैदा होते हैं, because there is a spiritual war against your nafs amara and your isme azam, your iman and your devil fighting, and the spark comes. Why spark? That's a good question. So we know the jung has begun, meaning something, you doing something right. जब तक स्पार्क नहीं निकलते हैं, हमने अपने इसमें आजम को के घोड़े को भगाया नहीं है. हमको अपने इसमें आजम के घोड़े को भगाना है ताकि स्पार्क निकले. That is the symbol for who? For the learned momin. जी.
So another question, why does Imam show us different lights initially, and does Imam make every individual pass through the same colorful lights initially during the spiritual growth? What is the significance of showing different lights?
Okay. Let's take the first question. That is the correct question. Why do we have to go through these different experiences? The answer is One word, experience. Children, look at a child is born. Why does he have to crawl? Why does he have to fall while he's walking before he can walk? And why does he walk before he runs? Step, 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 step. That is the nature. That is the nature. Ali Allah wants us to be able to handle the big, great Noor. वो ऐसे ही मुफ्त में दे देगा? नहीं. He is so wise and merciful. He wants to teach you how to crawl, spark, how to see the baby light, where you are able to get up. Then you are able to learn how to walk, and then you will be able to walk on your own, and then you will be able to fly step by step. That is the mercy, and we should be shukr guzar for that. If Ali Allah would show you the light the very first time, let me tell you what is going to happen to you. Do you remember Musa when he went to Koyatur and said, Ya Ali Allah, show me the light? Ali Allah said, you will not be able to handle. He said, no, show me the light. What happened to him? You see, it is better for us. We do not demand the light. We will not be able to handle it. Humility, humbleness, darja by darja, step by step, Ali Allah will show us and will guide us, and we will take us to the ultimate asal. Experience, 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 and inshallah we will be there. That was a good question. Ji.
So friends asking, are there chances to fall back to nafs amara from nafs mutmaina?
My friend, please come back. Don't jump. नफ्स अमारा, नफ्स लवामा, फिर नफ्स मुतमईना. कहाँ नफ्स मुतमईना और कहाँ हम गरीब और नाचीज. नफ्स मुतमईना at the level of the hakiki fanafi imam, hakiki marifat at the level of miraj. ये मुंह और मसूर की दाल. कहाँ हम गरीब और कहाँ नफ्स मुतमईना. Let's crawl. Let's learn how to walk. Let's talk about nafse amara and see if we can get to nafse lawama. So answer your question from nafse mutmaina. No, you cannot fall down.
So in the question, you mentioned 3 levels of receiving knowledge: reading, listening, and then inner knowledge. Please explain the inner knowledge.
Inner knowledge is the teaching which is received by a mu'min, a mu'min salik, a mu'min abid, an arif, and that is given by inspiration. There are many small inspiration the human receive on daily basis. I'm not talking about that inspiration. I'm talking about the ruhani and aklani enlightenment, जिसको हम तौफीक कहते हैं. पैगंबरों ने उसको वही कहा, हमारे पीरों ने उसको तौफीक और ताहीद कहा. This is ilm laduni, received directly on our heart, on our mind. And this knowledge is not for our physical elevation, but our spiritual, and more so at the level of intellectual upliftment. G. If you want to add a question, you can say, what does it look like? What does ilm laduni look like? That can be an added question. Ji Kamra sir.
So in the question, what does intense shaking or uncontrollable soft crying means?
Ji. In ibadat, a mu'min who recites the Isme Azam intensely, with the intense and with the quantity, he brings a kind of zalzala, shaking, because the souls which are sleeping inside us are awakened at that time, like a volcano gets erupted. And because they are awakened, our whole body shakes, especially during Giryawazari or intense ibadat. It is a good thing, because now those souls can help us with our Isme Azam and its recitation. Before there was one voice, now there can be millions and billions of voice. So every time you say Yali, multiply that by millions and billions. It's very beneficial for Momin. Thank you.
Right, sir. Friends, there are three questions in one. So friends asking, I have three-part question. Do we travel to the astral world during our bandagi in the initial stage? Does astral world represent any level of heaven? Does going to astral travel in dreams every day the same as that of our astral travel during bandagi?
Okay, lot of question. Number one, I wanted to say no, it's not at the initial level. Second question, yes, when you say astral world, you're talking about anything which cannot be seen with this eyes. And your third question is covered inside. In our dream, we do that every day. We do that every day in our dream. In our thoughts, we do that every day. But in ibadat or in early morning hours, during ibadat and after ibadat, that has a special place. Special place. So those are very high and special for a moment. Not to just go there and then what? Unless you are learning something from it. Because there can be a lot of ilm and understanding from that traveling. G.
So we have another friends asking, what does ilm laduni looks like?
G. Ilm laduni is such a ilm. When you receive that, and then if you understand, I'm hoping if you're receiving, you're also understanding. Whenever you will pick up a book, whenever you will listen to a farman, whenever you will open a ginan, then ilme laduni automatically opens the door in those ginans, in their farman, in their book, or whatever you are listening to. So what does ilme laduni look like? It looks like a key, an automatic astral key that opens the door to your heart and to the understanding. So let me give you an example. I'm going to pick up something here. Let's say I'm going to pick up this, and then let's say there is a farman written here. If you are a person with ilm laduni and you read this Farman, the lines, the words, those words and those lines which supposed to mean have a tawil will come out of it. That's what it looks like. Those lines and word will come out of it, and you will be able to see things between the line and under the line. And when you put your hand on that farman will be embossed on your heart and in your mind. That's what ilm laduni looks like. Ji.
So another question, how can I differentiate between ta'id and human thoughts? How do I know it is not my mind thinking? Am I going to hear angels speaking or angels speaking and also write it down immediately?
This is a multiple level question because our thoughts are also for the worldly benefit and physical things. Those are not ilm laduni. Even though Ali Allah can help you ease your physical life by giving you inspiration, but you can tell that is temporary and physical, and you would know it. And the ilm laduni and the inspiration at the spiritual level, you will feel happiness. You will feel happiness. Such a happiness that you will never lose that. That's how you will know that that is the spiritual happiness. Intellectual inspiration, tahid, tawfiq, that you will be able to see and understand and comprehend, and inshallah will be able to explain such a things that no one else could. That's how you will know that you have received the Tawfiq Tide inspiration. G. Let's make one last question, then we can stop.
It's does our crying in zikr tasbih same as that our crying during ibadat? What is the difference between both crying in spirituality and which crying bring greater progress in our spiritual growth?
Both. Okay. Remember, everything starts physically and then turns into spiritual. Giriyauzari is intentional, meaning you start physically your Giriyauzari. Crying in the ibadat comes naturally, automatically. Now you already knew this different. Crying in ibadat does not take an effort. But crying in Giriyauzari could require and may take effort because you have to focus. So one, let's say, just for our understanding, one is physical and second is spiritual. One is intended, second one was not intended. One was willingly, second was unwillingly. First one was knowingly, second one was unknowingly. G.
So you want to take 2 more questions or?
If we can leave it for next week, let's do that.
Okay.
And we will answer inshallah, unless it's a matter of personal, then we will not answer. Otherwise, we will answer all your questions. Thank you everyone for joining. Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Will we getting recording for this?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you
Shukar
very much. Thank you.
Yali
Yani
Madad.
Madad.
Thank you.
Yani Madad.
Yali Madad, sir.
Ali Madad,
Ya
Ali
Ali
Madad,
Madad.
Ya Ali Madad, sir.
Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali
Ali
Madad.
Madad, Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali
Yali
Madad,
Yali Madad Aziz Bhai.
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad.
Thank you, Aziz Bhai, for your this thing late time.
Ameen. Thank you, Ya Ali Madad.
Shukr
All
Mara.
Ali Madad.
Shukran Ali Allah, Shukran Ali Allah.